going. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yulia Jarnavaya. I'm the head of growth at GiveEffect, and we are very excited to welcome you today and bring back our biennial workshop, Benefits of All-in-One Software for Nonprofits. I know we have folks joining from all over the country today. Again, very excited for all of you to spend this hour with us. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce your speaker for today, Carl Lashley. Carl is a nonprofit solution consultant with GiveEffect, and he's been on the team for over 5 years. Carl works with tens and hundreds of nonprofits and help them to overcome technological challenges. But prior to joining GiveEffect, he also spent over 20 years working at nonprofits and primarily working at religious nonprofits and focusing on operations and capacity management. So Carl will be your speaker today, and I will be on the back end. So once we go through this hour, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat in the Q&A session, and I'll be assisting with answering those questions, but also we'll have 10 minutes at the end to answer all of any of your questions. So without further ado, Carl, I'll pass it to you.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. As was kindly introduced, my name is Carl Lashley, and I'm a proud nonprofit solutions consultant here at GiveEffect, and it's going to be my great pleasure to have a conversation, a dialogue about nonprofits and the use of software solutions here in the 21st century. Many challenges, of course, face nonprofits today. But as we consider those, just keep in mind the agenda for our discussion here today. We've covered the introduction, but we're going to talk a little bit here in the next few minutes about the benefits of what an all-in-one software provides nonprofits. I'll provide you then with the GiveEffect overview, a peek into our software and its offerings and what a all-in-one nonprofit solution looks like. And then toward the end, we'll entertain, of course, any questions that you may have as regards to maybe anything that I've said, shared, and or you might see here today. So again, welcome to our discussion, our workshop here today, and I truly hope that much will be gleaned from your experience today. Now, why should nonprofits consider an all-in-one software? There are many reasons, of course, why a nonprofit here in the 21st century should consider an all-in-one software. And let's take a look at some of those reasons. The majority, of course, of nonprofits will use, as I did in my experience as a nonprofit administrator, multiple different tools and platforms to manage donors, volunteers, and day-to-day operations. And there is a general frustration with going from one platform to the other on a day-to-day basis, and we'll review some of those. But keeping that in mind, Nonprofit Trends Report in their 5th edition suggests that only 36% of nonprofit professionals are very satisfied with the technology, of course, that they utilize to do their jobs. That represents just over a little more than a third of nonprofit professionals who are using tools on a day-to-day basis who are satisfied with their platforms. I don't know if you are faced with general frustrations, but I remember the day moving from Excel to another platform and then having to communicate with constituents as well. And even with nonprofits that I engage with on a day-to-day basis, voice this general dissatisfaction. About 2/3 of those that I will meet with voice their general dissatisfaction with software that they're using. Many nonprofits struggle with the reality that too many of the platforms and tools do not speak to one another. That essentially means that on a day-to-day basis, I am having to, and those nonprofits that I work with, constantly have to download reports from one tools in order to upload to another tool just to get a view of, let's say, an event, just one event. take that into consideration when you're running multiple events and speaking to multiple constituents, and you're trying to figure out the effectiveness of your campaigns and your events. Many nonprofits, of course, struggle with, of course, the gaps that exist in data due to role transitions. If a team member leaves, that knowledge base is certainly lost and is not retained within the organization. Many nonprofits will talk about the fact that they're missing data or that their data is unorganized. And this happens just in the course of uploading and downloading information from one tool to another. Certain data does not translate into the other tool the way it may present itself in one tool. And then the one that I hear frequently in the course of my discussions, and the one that I remember is lots of manual data entry and repetitive tasks that occur on a day-to-day basis. In fact, an hour-to-hour basis. In fact, you may be able to relate to this and get frustrated with the manual data entry and call yourself taking a coffee break just to break up the monotony that does occur in that manual data entry. So what is the difference between silo platforms versus an all-in-one platform? Well, in silo platforms, there's typically seen a disbursement of data in several places. It doesn't lie in one place. I have to look at one set of data in one tool to understand what is being represented in another tool, and hope, cross my fingers, that that data, of course, translates over appropriately. Again, lots of manual data entry is found in silo platforms because you're literally moving from one tool to another. Lots of manual gift reconciliation is occurring. Multiple reports. I remember many days I would used to have to set aside at least 2 days just to conduct reconciliation using a siloed tool. And nonprofits report that they've got to print out multiple reports, get those reports over to their financial teams, and even the data, financial. I'm not just talking about the actual financial data, but the relevance of that financial data as it relates in one system over to another has to be relayed accurately. In a siloed platform, there's the experience of complicated reporting. How do I build a simple report? Um, a simple report that in many cases and in many other platforms requires that you essentially go to that software tool, school, or institute just to learn how to put together a report. And of course, in a siloed platform, you've got to remember multiple logins. It's tough enough that I've got to remember the login for my iPhone or the login for my email, but now I got to remember it for a separate platforms. Got to remember it for my email tool, got to remember it for my financial tool. And each of these tools, mind you, have different formattings. What do I want to say? Mandated formattings for passwords. So I've got to remember those rules for those passwords that I create. Now, on an all-in-one platform, the ability, of course, to see the comprehensive view of what a constituent is doing within your organization is readily available. The benefit, of course, of an all-in-one platform is that there are no more downloads and uploads. I don't have to set aside an entire day just to reconcile information from one system to another. It is already present. Oh, and how about this in the 21st century? Thank you. In an all-in-one platform, as I hear many of the partners that I work with report, their gift processing is now automated, and it causes less stress in the course of their day. Their reconciliation process has been reduced literally from days right down to minutes. And thankfully, tax receipting is now automated. As soon as that gift is made, the tax receipt, of course, is sent out. Another benefit of all-in-one platforms is, of course, the ability to easily and accurately pull reports and mailing lists. Why? Because it's present right there within the platform itself. And there is user friendliness in this ability as well. It does not require you to go to an institute just to figure out the parameters and the rules of a particular report. they're neatly laid out for you as well. And of course, the major benefit together with an all-in-one platform is there's one login. I don't have to remember multiple passwords anymore. I don't have to write them down in a secret book and hide it away in my desk. All I have to do is remember one platform, one password. Now, nonprofits with unified technology are actually 2 times more likely to exceed their fundraising goals. And why is that? Because they're spending more time engaging their constituents, engaging their donors, engaging their sponsors, engaging their organizational contacts. And now they've got that effective time to do that. Nonprofits with unified technology are actually 4 times more likely to exceed their mission goals because they can absolutely, at the end of the day, keep in mind what those mission goals are and not get lost in the monotony of manual data entry that must occur on a daily basis with a siloed platform. And of course, nonprofits with a unified technology will save anywhere from 30 to 40 hours a month in administrative tasks, because what is experienced in unified technology is not only user friendliness, but automation, which is key in the 21st century to ease those tasks, to take over those monotonous tasks on a day-to-day basis so that you can absolutely focus again on what is important, your donors, your volunteers, and your other constituents as well. Now, what GiveEffect is hoping to do, and what we brag to many of our partners, and our partners are pleased to experience, is that we're helping nonprofits eliminate that manual process, providing them with faster collaboration, a drive growth by, of course, enabling their team to utilize one out-of-the-box user-friendly platform. That's right, literally out of the box. You receive that or access that platform from your system, and you're ready to rock and roll and do what is most effective and is of most concern to your organization. That is to fulfill your mission goal to serve your constituents as well. Now, what is being provided in an all-in-one platform that is absolutely found in GiveEffect's nonprofit software? This functionality, of course, present within the GiveEffect nonprofit software, helps nonprofits to address the needs of growing their nonprofits in one connected system by providing them with donor management, the traditional relationship database, the event fundraising and auction management as well, volunteer management, a robust system, a nonprofit management system that allows for user-friendly report creation, tasking amongst teams, as well as other things like resource management, together with other capabilities, integrations present within that nonprofit management system. A membership management system, which is helping nonprofits, of course, not only manage traditional memberships, but the ability to track things like board memberships, committee memberships, even create some unique things like giving circles and giving societies as well. A communication system, marketing and email, continue your direct mail piece development, your email marketing, together with your text messaging capability to your constituents as well. Grant prospect management and moves management is another functionality present within the GiveEffect software system, helping you to track the progress of each of your major gifts, asks, and grants as well. Yes, website and web hosting. Bring web hosting directly within the software platform together with the daily development or weekly development of your website, and make it more attractive and more appealing, of course, to your constituents. And then, of course, the heart and the brains of an effective all-in-one nonprofit platform system is smart automation. This is the system that is easing and reducing and eliminating the need for constant uploads and downloads within your system. The smart automation system is also the system that unifies each of these data systems, data management systems, to allow for a comprehensive view of exactly what your constituents are doing within the organization. This is the type of appeal that with a platform and a technology that a former nonprofit administrator like myself would have loved to have in managing an organization on a day-to-day basis. GiveEffect is hoping that as you view and consider not only our platform, but other offerings of all-in-one nonprofit software systems, is that you are seeing the elimination of the need for multiple systems and truly only ever having to use an all-in-one software system, oh, by the way, that can be accessed anywhere in the world. Now, what's an all-in-one nonprofit platform system without support? If you run across an all-in-one nonprofit platform system or a CRM that is not offering you support, I want to suggest, as a nonprofit solutions consultant, it may not be worth your dollar. But what a truly successful nonprofit CRM all-in-one system will provide is support as well as functionality. In GiveEffect's support, we're offering you a GiveEffect team. And on that team is comprised a dedicated account manager and onboarding specialist who walks with you from the inception or the adoption of the software throughout the life cycle of the software, with whom you can communicate through other means of support, like a built-in chat support, like email support, like video tutorials, like live webinars and training that occur on a regular basis to talk to you about not only features, but functionality within the software, improved functionality, and best practices that are being used by other partners. A help center and a client frequently ask support is available together with monthly office hours, the ability to engage your account manager directly with issues, questions, and or concerns you might have. There is also the ability, of course, to add on additional support as your team deems it necessary, and add it on as you will. Again, no nonprofit software that's all in one is worth its salt unless it's offering you the support as well. Now, let's dive in. Let's take a look at what is being offered through the GiveEffect nonprofit platform. This is our nonprofit platform as you see it here. Today, when any user logs into our platform, they're going to come into a mission control area that will provide them with a relevant view of where the organization stands today. One can look at the monetary value of in-kind gifts together with monetary gifts. And then there's area here called dashboard widgets. Of course, dashboard widgets certainly is the capability, of course, for each user who logs into the system to customize and organize data points and data sets that may be of interest to them. There is a capability here, of course, to eliminate these sets. Each of these data points and data sets are interactive and can allow for a user to zero in on a more specific information relative to the data that's being provided in this data set here today. There's also an area in the software here called the lab. This lab area represents the predictive element of the software, and it's helping the user who was logged in here, the administrator who was logged in here, the development team member, take a look at who was likely to give here in the month of January, or we can advance these to other months of the year to see who is likely to give and to whom we can generate various types of appeals to, whether we wish to generate out a lettered appeal or an email appeal. Maybe we want our appeal to this particular donor, let's say Yulia, who has given us 68 donations that total $204,000, who's likely, as the system is indicating to us, to give on Thursday, January 18th, the amount of $3,000. We can generate not only a letter, an email, we can also shoot out an instant text message to Yulia as well, and or even develop an entire newsletter to Yulia here as well. Now, listen, I got to generate an appeal out. And in a nonprofit software tool that is bragging about supporting your work and helping you engage your work, if it doesn't have tools to provide that, again, it may not be worth its salt. Within GiveEffect's platform, we're offering you what's called the AI Writer, based somewhat and similarly on ChatGPT technology, but we call ours Arthur. And Arthur is proficient in helping you generate various types of appeals and prose that may be needed to speak to your constituents. Everything from blog posts to sponsorship proposal, grant proposal, letters, emails, photo captions, media content. Maybe you need to open up a position to your constituents and you need to develop a job description. Arthur will, in fact, help you write, of course, this appeal that's going to be sent out to 25-year-olds, let's say, for solicitation for a Giving Tuesday, and the points that we want this appeal, of course, to hit out on. English is not only the only limitation, is not the limitation here. Of course, utilize various other languages as the system, of course, generates its appeal out for you. And this appeal, of course, can be later taken and generated through your newsletters, or in fact, in an individual email that you're going to send out to a constituent as well. Arthur does the unique task of not only creating this appeal, which we'll see here in a moment, but Arthur actually has the ability to keep track of the history of these appeals that are being sent out to your donors as well. Editing capability is present as well. We can also look at the history of appeals that we have sent out to our constituents as well. Let's take a look at our CRM and how we track contacts within the GiveEffect all-in-one platform. We'll go into our contacts database, but quickly mentioning tasks are also a capability where I can track tasks within teams and amongst team members as well. In the contacts database, I have the capability not only to segment my contacts, but to group my contacts, to track relationships and households among my contacts, even track interactions with respect to my contacts as well. Let's take a look at a sample contact under the name of Wendell. And certainly here, as Wendell's contact profile opens up, there is a boast and a brag that we made about what a all-in-one platform should be able to do, and that is to provide you with a 360-degree view of your constituents. First, we get a 360-degree view of all of Wendell's relevant contact information: home, mailing, business address, emails, telephone numbers, even seasonal addresses. We can track additional background information on Wendell. We can even get a look at who on our team is interacting with Wendell, when that interaction occurred, and the substance of that interaction. Within GiveEffect's platform, you do have the capability, of course, of even tracking Wendell's moves, if he should move in the course of your engagement with him. We do provide access to the National Change of Address database that will provide you with that updated information. Stored in the contact profile is a completed volunteer application that Wendell completed online, relationships that Wendell has with the others within the database, documents and or images that, of course, have been attached to his contact profile, and even additional custom fields, additional sets of information that we are tracking on Wendell or on our contacts and constituents that go beyond the default view of each contact profile. That custom field capability is unlimited within the GiveEffect's platform, and should be within any platform that you are utilizing. Within the GiveEffect platform, we're able to track everything from giving, both in a graphic view. We can look at funds and campaigns, but we can also look at those itemized donations and payments, of course, that Wendell is providing us, when he provided it to us, campaign it was related to, and even general ledger coding information pulled from our financial software. This allows GiveEffect's platform to speak with just about any financial software system, especially QuickBooks, that you may be utilizing and or using, easing that process of reconciliation. Within the Giving tab, of course, you have sub-tabs where you can specifically look at specific areas of giving. We can also track Wendell's volunteer commitments, what he's completed, what he's committed to, and track each of those volunteer assignments. Everything, again, from sweat equity to reservations that may be made or that he may be a part of, right together with very popular volunteer opportunities that have wait lists as well, can be tracked. We can look at Wendell's involvement within our events and campaigns, our fundraisers, our team peer-to-peer events, RSVP events, registration events, yes, even ticketed events. When Wendell purchased the ticket, when this ticket was used, as there is a GiveEffect buddy app that will allow you to scan tickets when your participants show up for events as well. You can certainly process rewards and gift certificates, sell products related to campaigns and see those purchases that Wendell may have made. Do auction registration, bidder registration for your auctions, pre-authorized credit cards, even within GiveEffect's platform, allow for mobile bidding, and even track those bids once they're made. We can track interactions specific to each area and or type of interaction, everything from emails, letters, calls, meetings, text messages, see who the point of contact was, when the contact occurred, and the manner of that contact as well. The day for additional systems like Google Docs or JotForms or SurveyMonkey have come to an end. Google, any all-in-one software system should offer the ability to not only create documents, registration forms for your events, for your volunteer activities, but even also for, let's say, web generation, like web applications as well, allowing you, of course, to see both the fields of query on the form and the responses that you're getting back as well. Even waiver and consent forms, whether they're checkbox forms and or signature, virtual signature type forms as well. Track households, easy capability through GiveEffect, and or should be presented in any all-in-one software platform. Track an unlimited number of households. Again, unlimited capability is the way in the future, just in terms of functionality. Track memberships, an unlimited number, tier, type, or level of membership as well. Track memberships that have credit cards associated them. Set your own auto renewal terms. See when they expire, what's active, inactive as well. Get wealth screening information, of course, on your constituents as well, and determine before you pick up the phone and or sit down and meet with your constituents what they're likely and capable to give to your organization. If you need a more specific amount, look at that estimated capacity as well. And maybe you want to look at specific organizations or causes that they're giving to outside of your organization. All of that is presented within the wealth screening area through our partnership with Donor Search. Then track those major gifts asked that you may be making. We call them major gifts. Others call them moves management as well. Track those through your system here as well, through their respective stages, amounts that you may be tracking, track deadlines as well, track actual monetary donations or in-kind items, the gift type, and even the gift stage as well, assigning each stage out to varying team members to utilize their skill sets to help you acquire this particular gift. Do multiple allocations. Attach documents and or images, of course, to those gifts as well. Major gifts is not the only thing that you can track through the system. Grants as well. Those grant prospects through their respective stages as well. Even assigning each of those grant stages, of course, to team members, just as you could in your major gifts area. Track the grant type. Track the grant submission date, the decision date, even your reporting date for your grant, the term for your grant. Build in custom dates as well. Measure your confidence as you progress through each stage of the grant to determine how likely you are to secure this grant. Multiple allocation capability is present as well. Track the details of the grant and even the reporting portal where those details need to be reported on as well, together with any documents that need to be associated with this grant. And as well, track resources that Wendell might be taking advantage of, or any contact might be taking advantage of within your organization. Might include space, computer equipment, keys, uniforms, vehicles, when that resource is being allocated out, when you expect it to be returned back in. Maybe you need to process payments as well. Process these payments, of course, through the GiveEffect platform is a capability and should be a capability in certainly any system that you are using. Now, any all-in-one platform worth its salt does not require, of course, manual entry to occur to acquire much of the information that we see here today. Much of the information that's present here within Wendell's contact profile was actually acquired as a result of, let's say, Wendell moving through a donation flow, such as being presented by one of our partners here, that will certainly populate here in a moment for me. But as Wendell is certainly moving through various types of flows here in the system, he is inputting information that is causing the contact profile to be created and or enriched, whether he is purchasing a ticket, participating in a fundraiser, of course, and or completing a volunteer application, are all possibilities through the system here as well. Now, with respect to GiveEffect's donation system, one of the things that you are capable and able to do is brand your fundraising pages and your donation pages here. Track one-time or recurring donations, track pledge installments, allow donors to log into their own portal to acquire and manage their own gifts and receipts as well, together with the capability to do tiered donation levels and sponsorships, together and most importantly, the ability to execute offline donation gift tracking, as well as automate out those tax receipts and thank you letters, are capabilities through the system. Whether you choose, of course, to use an embedded donation script and or a subdomain page for your donation capability are all possibilities here through the GiveEffect platform as well. Be as detailed as you wish to on these forms. Eliminate as much information as you'd like. Allow for gift matching through our partnership with Double the Donation as well. Allow constituents to self-subscribe to groups as well, together with the capability, of course, to process payments, whether they are credit card, bank payments, PayPal, Venmo, are all possibilities through the system, and even cover the cost of transacting their donations today. Together with your donation capability, there is a donation management system as well, and worth mentioning, the ability, of course, to process tribute donations. Our capabilities, together with designated gifts or designations, are also possibilities through the GiveEffect platform as well. But there is also, within a true CRM all-in-one nonprofit platform, is the ability, of course, to track your donations in a particular and specific area that still speaks to the wealth of other systems that are present. Here's the donation management system, where you're able to track a host of things, whether we're talking about donations being received from individuals and or organizations, or recurring payments, whether these are check payments and or credit card payments as well that are being processed through the system, or if you're tracking in-kind items, track the substance of those in-kind items and their respective values as well, or issuing out annual statements for any given year as well, are all capabilities here through the system as well. Together with the ability, of course, to process batch payments in one sitting, and or if you're doing easy scan and want to put them through the system, absolutely, that system will speak here with GiveEffect as well. Donation management isn't the only possibility through an all-in-one nonprofit platform like GiveEffect, but the creation of fundraising and event management and auction management are capabilities through the GiveEffect platform. Whether you are in fact creating galas, charity golfing events, fundraisers, personal and team fundraising events, peer-to-peer events, or we're doing text to bid or text to give, or auctions or RSVP and registration events, whatever type of events you are creating within an all-in-one platform, particularly one like GiveEffect, our system is generating a URL and or a landing page, a website essentially, for your organization to embed essentially anywhere, and even allow your constituents to embed those events. Look at some of the events that are being created by our partners. Community Shelter of Union City created Boots and Bow Ties. They have a donate function. Sponsor this event function. If you happen to be out on the field, just carry your cell phone and capture live sponsorships in real time, utilizing your phone for these particular events. General admission or bulk tickets are all capability. These events allow for your constituents to see time and location of the event and add to their calendars, together again with the ability to do tiered sponsorships as well, and even allowed for sharing on social media platforms and allow your constituents to grab those URLs. Together with the ability, of course, again, to do bulk ticket table sales, and even the ability to measure the success of your fundraising goal and update, together with QR code capability as well for those auction items as well. There is also the ability through GiveEffect not only to allow for sponsorships, but for also the creation of team fundraising events that have multiple teams. This particular event had 20 teams, and each team, even sponsorships, tiered sponsorship here, each team, of course, receives their own landing page for the event and can express their own unique goal to help your organization, of course, raise funds as well. Each team, of course, naturally has team members, and each team member is and has the capability of having their own landing page with their own unique goal that can be shared on social media platforms. And you're all granted, Gordon might want this to be posted to his church website or his company's website as well. Various types of events and layouts that can certainly be created. Maybe you're just doing a donate and sponsor event as well, or you're running, of course, a registration event like a golf outing, are all possibilities through the GiveEffect platform. Together with the ability, of course, to do RSVP events as well. Maybe they're hybrid events, maybe they're virtual events. There is a partnership that exists and should exist in any all-in-one nonprofit platform to allow for participation in events. With GiveEffect, we do partner with Zoom for that capability as well. A nonprofit platform should also allow, all-in-one platform should also allow for the sale of products if you wish to sell products as well, and the ability for your constituents to organize their search, whether it's by category, price, name, newest and or oldest items, as well as the ability, of course, for auction items as well. Maybe you're just running a simple donation button that you will run all year round. Absolutely speak about your cause and even edit the content of the button itself as well. Maybe you have a vendor source for a particular event that you want to run, where a vendor must come and pay a fee as well. Run those uniquely for your vendors as well. Or in fact, you are like Communities in School that has been running this year after year, give monthly to a particular cause like the Honor Roll Society. Now, unique in any nonprofit platform like GiveEffect is the ability to engage your constituents to help you raise funds as well. GiveEffect's platform allows constituents to do that and even walks them through the process on how to build certainly those fundraising events for your organization. There is, within the GiveEffect platform, the unique ability, of course, to allow for the management of campaigns and events. Now, some platforms will limit your capability on the number of campaigns and or events that you can run. That's limiting. That's not an effective tool for a nonprofit that wishes to grow itself. Within our platform, you do have the capability of running unlimited campaigns. We use that word synonymously with events here, regardless of the type of event. Maybe it's just strictly a auction event or a product related event that's just selling products, or it's a gala event. Run as many as you'd like, up to 1,000. I have seen even more in any given year as well. And then even archive those events so that later on you can come back and, of course, reactivate and rebuild a particular event as well. Maybe you're running an RSVP event or a volunteer event or the third-party event. You absolutely have the ability and the process to review those capabilities before those events go live. Decide when you want to approve it and when you want to make it public. Even access to a event calendar that you can utilize on your webpage as well. Other unique things that you can accomplish through an all-in-one nonprofit platform is the ability, of course, to manage volunteers, seamlessly recruit and track volunteers, whether we're talking about a volunteer application or unique volunteer campaign event and or calendar as well. Create and manage volunteer shifts in minutes. It should no longer take days, literally, to build out a volunteer event. It should take roughly no more than 2.5 minutes. And if you're spending more time than that, time should better be spent in looking for a software that will help you execute more effectively those events as well. Manage volunteers using a kiosk or a QR code through GiveEffect. That capability exists, and then even getting volunteer reports and data analytics. Again, whether we're talking about a volunteer application in which you will build and create and decide how much or how little information certainly you wish to capture, together with a release and waiver liability form, capturing as much as shirt size, dietary restriction, emergency contact information, or building out a specific volunteer campaign event that occurs on a specific day and time at a particular location. Add videos, by the way, to the campaigns that you build. That capability should exist in any platform that you're considering as well. And then even the volunteer calendar that you can certainly embed within your organization's website that will allow the volunteer to see days in which volunteer opportunities occur, either by calendar day or a list view, and even indicate to the volunteer how many spots are available. You can even restrict opportunities. Maybe training is required to access a volunteer opportunity and or even age restrict those opportunities as well. If I have the ability to recruit, I should have the ability to track and manage my volunteers. And within the CRM, within GiveEffect's platform, is a volunteer management system that allows you to track the total number of volunteers that you have and to even see their complete range of engagement within your organization as well. With the ability to manage volunteers by their roles, their interests, their skills, their certifications, and even groupings. Create those jobs and shifts literally in minutes as well, together with the ability to decide how many spots are available. Are these volunteer opportunities going to have a wait list as well? When are these volunteer opportunities going to occur? How frequently and often will they occur as well? Together with the ability to create a kiosk, certainly through the GiveEffect Event Buddy, certainly to allow constituents with the ability, of course, to check themselves in and check themselves out on the day of any given volunteer opportunity, or to utilize a QR code as well. So volunteers can certainly check themselves in and check themselves out, together with the ability for any volunteer, of course, to have a QR code that can be scanned, like Jennifer Jolit here, who has got a QR code associated with her contact profile that allows for scanning by the volunteer coordinator utilizing their cell phone on the day that Jennifer will show up as well. So some robust tools for donation management, event fundraising management, even volunteer management. But what good is all of this if I can't, within the same system, generate reports and or communicate, of course, with my constituents as well? Within GiveEffect is not only the ability to create email campaigns as well, as you can see here, whether they have videos associated with them or not, but also, we'll take a look at a quick campaign here as well, but also the ability, this is an email campaign that's got replacement variables and fields, even the ability to suggest amount, look into each individual recipient's contact profile. to suggest an amount based on their giving history and giving pattern, to automate personalized giving, even volunteer information and other custom fields. But not only the ability to create a campaign, but also to determine who on your team should be responsible for replying to these messages when they are received, but together with the ability, of course, to get data analytics within the system without having to leave the platform. That data analytics on that platform, that campaign that I was just looking at, will be presented both in a graphic view as well as in the relative activity view as well. And let me look for one very quickly that's got some data analytics on it as well. So both in a graphic view, and maybe I just want to look at an individual lineup with respect to all of my recipients, and maybe all of those that have opened and or clicked into certain links related to the particular campaign. So that analytics view is present here within the platform as well. So I can speak to my constituents both through emails and text messages, but also have the ability, of course, to run some reports very quickly, certainly within GiveEffect here as well. Our reports are canned. They're pre-prepared for you based on the frequency of the types of reports that we typically see from our nonprofit partners. But there's also the capability, of course, to, in fact, create your own reports and even have the system automate out those reports to you by way of email once they're generated, maybe on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, monthly basis, indicate who your recipients are. Maybe it will be yourself and maybe a board of director member who has access to the system, right down to the formatting, name the report, so that you can certainly, of course, access this report in the future. But reports within GiveEffect do come with a graphic view and a data summary view as well. So I do get a graphic view of these particular reports and the capability to get data summary information on those reports, and even download that summary information as well. Also is the capability to manage websites, of course, through the GiveEffect software, whether you're proficient in CSS or HTML and or drag and drop, is the ability, of course, to create any number or types of pages within the website builder as well. And I typically like to show these off. And of course, with the ability, of course, to run these different types of websites is also the ability to do different things like blogs, as well as stores creation are all possibilities, of course, through the GiveEffect software. And I saved the best for last because I'm an animal lover. Humane Society of West Michigan put together this nice video presentation to their constituents as well. So that website builder functionality allows for the ability, of course, to bring in any number of websites, certainly within GiveEffect, and to manage that through our website builder functionality here in GiveEffect. Again, drag and drop and or CSS or HTML program. Whether you're proficient in either of those, the system will allow for the use of that functionality here as well. So many other features certainly within and should be present within an all-in-one nonprofit system. The ability, of course, to track resources is one type of system. Ticketing management as well. The ability, of course, certainly to do text to bid, text to give are also features and functionalities within the system as well, to create different types of workflow. If a donor does this, the system will do that, are all possibilities, of course, through the platform. Having said that, and having dived in, of course, here on the platform, I do want to pause and make sure that we open up the floor to some questions, and encourage you as you think about what an all-in-one nonprofit platform should look like for your organization. You have the absolute ability here to consider GiveEffect and to review GiveEffect as well.
Thank you so much, Carl, for this presentation, and thank you everyone for spending this hour with us. We have a few more minutes, so we would like to spend it answering any of your questions that you might have. While we're waiting for some questions to populate, I also do want to point out that there is a resource tab in the navigation bar, and you can find there some case studies. About GiveEffect partner nonprofits, but also there are a couple of links that you can utilize to subscribe to our newsletter. We share a lot of interesting content, research, articles, but also there is a link to Carl's schedule. So if you want to talk one-on-one, just maybe strategize, just discuss your organizational situation and if this might be an option, or just get a pick up Carl's brain and get some suggestions overall, please feel free to use the link and connect one-on-one. But we do have a couple of questions. So Carl, let's start. All right.
I saw the first. I
So
saw the first one there. If I switch to GiveEffect, will it sync with my current CRM software? GiveEffect is intended to replace your software platforms. And unique to this particular question, we've developed through our thought management, and any platform, of course, that you're considering should be thinking about this process. But we've thought about this process through our data migration process. We appoint for you a data migration specialist who helps with the move of we ask that you supply us with your data, but they deal with the migration of that legacy data information that you've had in your previous system to make sure that it syncs well within the GiveEffect platform system. Together with that data migration process are a series of steps: upload files, we analyze the data, we review, we ask you then to review the data based on data mapping, we migrate that data information, ask you to move into a validation period to make sure the data presents the way you would like for it to do, and then you're complete usually within 30 to 60 days of that data migration process, and you're ready to rock and roll in your system. So hope that answered your question.
yeah, and just to add a quick note to that, just to put out that we do have an in-house data migration team. So we don't outsource this to a third party. Data migration is part of the package, and all the data migration specialists have nonprofit experience, a lot of database experience, and they're very versed into transitioning data from any systems to GiveEffect. All right, Carl, next question is, let's see, does GiveEffect handle hosting of the website as well?
Excellent. So within the website builder, and great question, within the website builder is the capability to bring in your web hosting directly here within the platform, so that you can also do your development, editing, any additions that you wish to your page as well. So yes.
Yes, that is included. Thank you so much for the question. And the next one is, what kind of resources does GiveEffect track? So I guess we're getting into resource tab.
Yeah, and with respect to resources, GiveEffect can track just about any type of resource, of course, within your organization that needs to be tracked. And there are a couple of examples here for this very reason. We're tracking everything from a MacBook to a conference room to employment insurance request. I think one previous year I was using the system to track vehicles that are being issued out. It's still there. Truck driver for a particular truck that may be issued out right down to the day of the week. So there are a number of types and different types of resources, of course, that can be tracked through the resource management tool.
Yeah, and I think I've seen a lot of, if you have a conference, I mean, everything that Carl said, absolutely correct. But I think I frequently saw this used to track if you have a conference room that you may be renting, right? If you have any inventory, I see inventory. Is that useful for food bank inventory?
There are a couple of areas where inventory can be tracked, particularly for a food bank. Particularly if you decide to use the website builder, there's a great inventory tool within the website builder that can be used. But there are a number of areas here, not so much your particular inventory items. You may want to utilize the store option through the website builder for that as well. We can have a further discussion about that.
Yeah. It might be worth kind of connecting and just going over a specific use case to determine if that's something that can be applied or not. Wonderful. One more question. By the way, thank you so much, everyone, for the questions. We have one more question. Does it include mobile paddle race capability for live events with thermometer and live tracking of upcoming donation towards the goal?
Oh, that was a long question.
Love it.
Yeah, a mobile. It does allow for mobile bidding, not necessarily mobile paddling. Um, for that, I would have to get into a more
But
deeper dive. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have, there is a thermometer, right? And tracking
There's a
of
thumb. Yes,
upcoming live
yes.
donation. And actually right now, our engineers just shared a week ago that they're doing enhancement into our auction capabilities. So again, I'm pretty sure that it's coming along, and Hillary will be happy to share those updates with you once we have the final, I think in a month or two, enhancement implemented. Because I think one of the reason is there was a lot of hybrid events, online auction hybrid events during the pandemic, but since 2023, we've seen so many more live events. So that functionality is definitely something that we're looking into enhancement. And then you had a second question is texting constituents. Does this include mass text campaign with segmented groups like email campaigns? Great
Yes.
question.
Yes. So yes. This capability within GiveEffect, it continues to grow, and the ability, of course, to do mass text campaigns is absolutely a possibility. Typically, seeing it used in that way, as well as for text to bid for your auctions, text to give for specific campaigns as well. And there are various types of ways, of course, to use the text to bid functionality within the software itself.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit, we know how important, and we understand how important is segmenting your constituents, right, into different groups. So we do have very robust functionality to tag, right? Or we call it group people into different groups. And it can be done manually by running queries, but a lot of it can be done automatically. So then you can automatically, I mean, anyone who bought a ticket to your gala can be placed in a group Gala 2024. Anyone who donated online can go into group online donors and so on and so far. And then you can absolutely utilize those groups for personalized communication, whether it's email, texting, and so on. Wonderful. All right. So I think if I'm going to give it just 10 more seconds, if there's any last minute questions, but also wanted to say thank you everyone for submitting your questions.
Yes.
We really love the engagement. Carl, any last words from you?
Absolutely. There's a number of team members here at GiveEffect that remain available to allow you to meet with us so that we can provide maybe a further review or a more in-depth view of the GiveEffect platform. There's also a capability here within GiveEffect as well for you to trial the software for yourself, certainly to take a look at some of the functionality on your own so that you can certainly pick our brains all the more with respect to functionality and what an all-in-one nonprofit software certainly should look like. Wishing you much success here in 2024.
Thank you so much. And one last thing, when you drop off, there is going to be a very quick 1-minute survey. We would really appreciate if you can take just 1 minute to answer 3 quick questions. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful rest of your day and great weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.